Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 175th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, bunch of nonsense. With me, as always, is my friend, co-host, and national frisbee man, Frederick.
The mascot for National Frisbee.
The icon of UK frisbeeing.
The one people see in their dreams.
Frederick, we're back. We're back with the pod.
We are back.
It's been too long.
What the kids call a hot minute.
It has
10 days since we potted.
It has.
To me, feels like a year.
An eternity.
At least.
And we do have, as a result, lots to talk about today. It's going to be a juicy one. And guess what? This one's recorded on Tuesday of this week. So we're pretty up to date on stuff.
It's pretty up to date.
It's kind of unreal.
What more do you want from us?
So this week we are going to be talking about, with Timecodes down below, by the way, we're going to be talking about some news. There was a lot of trailers. We had a trailer for The Flash, for Fast and Furious X, some Marvel announcements, and then, of course, it will lead into... well, I'm sure will be a delightful discussion on the latest Marvel disaster.
Masterpiece.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Quantumania.
Yeah.
Why is it called Ant-Man and the Wasp still? The Wasp does
The Wasp
next
had
to nothing.
literally like 2 lines in the whole movie. And,
Yeah.
dare I say, a bad haircut. I put it out there.
And dare I say, not a good look.
Before we jump into that, firstly, we actually have not been able to speak for a little bit, so...
Exactly.
Frisbee, how are the Nationals?
Well, I won't lie. It was a good time. Did go, and we were missing 2 of our main players for mobility, but that's not an excuse. We were kind of on deep water.
Okay.
I'll say myself and a few of my friends, we played very, very well.
Rest of the team was trash.
The team did not function great sometimes.
Okay.
But overall, it was a good time. However, I want to say, how many games did we play? I think in the 9 games we played, would you like to take a guess as to how many we won?
Ooh, I'm gonna shoot for 4 games.
Oh, you honor me, sir. Try 1.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, I would say the losses we took, they were not, terrible. It was like we lost by 1 or 2 points. We were also in our initial pool. We played the 2 teams who ended up being in the final, so a tough pool to start off with. We did beat seed, which means we finished better than they intended for us.
Let's go.
In that we were seeded 15th, finished 14th. Very nice.
That'll show them.
But I mean, despite not winning a lot, it was just a good time. I enjoyed it. What did rub a little bit of salt in my wound was that I chose to go to Frisbee over the volleyball semi-final and finals in the Scottish Cup. And the boys did pull home a 2nd place, and all of Scotland had gotten medals.
Can't win them all.
I'm happy for them. I'm very happy for them. But
if they wake up with their medals stolen and their pants pantsed,
and their pants in their mouths,
they should know who came from. Well,
we lose. We've been losing so much the entire year, and then the one time we're not there, me and my friend, they just decide to do really well. It's like,
well, I hate to say this. Do you think maybe there's a correlation there? That's all I'm gonna put out there. But
yeah, so I mean, you are talking to the player of the tournament.
Let's fucking go, player of the tournament. And you had a good time. That's what's important. And you were in, as you say, the deep waters. And not only did you paddle, you thrived. That's not how that saying is supposed to go.
I straight up became Aquaman.
Ugh, beautiful. Well, we welcome you back to the world of podcasting.
Oh, thank
where
you.
Clearly
belong. I've been. All this traveling and sports may not be for you. This is your home.
You need to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Good
I have
stuff.
missed it.
And before we kick in, I just have a very quick little, just a thing I thought you'd enjoy.
Anecdote?
Not even an anecdote, although I do have some of those, but I think it's a packed pod. We can save those for another time.
Ooh, okay.
But I wanted to get this out there because I just thought it was quite amusing and a little bit concerning. The audience and you may be familiar with ChatGPT, which is the latest AI thing where you put in a bunch of stuff and it it's kind of scary how like good it is that, you know, like you can say like write me a script for like a movie or something and it'll like actually write something competent. Kind of scary stuff, but I'm also fascinated by it. And so I was like, you know, I'll do a little digging. So I hopped on ChatGPT. And I just want to say, first of all, extremely embarrassing. It has not heard of the YouTube channel BHL Hudson, but it has heard of the Poorly Planned Podcast. However, it took some interesting turns. So if I could just say, I ask it, first of all, I ask it, have you heard of the Poorly Planned Podcast? It says, yes, I have heard of the Poorly Planned Podcast. It's a comedy podcast. Here, it gets confusing. Hosted by two friends, Benedict Townsend and Kellyanne Leon, who discuss a variety of topics such as pop culture, current events, and their personal experiences. It's known for its humorous and lighthearted approach. So I think it's confusing us with, remember there was that other podcast that may or may not be around that our fans like kind of harassed for a week or something? Which,
very true.
Also titled Poorly Planned Podcast, which I'm sure they're doing fine. I'm sure they're great. It might be confusing this. So I said to it, no, the other Poorly Planned Podcast, the one with Benedict and Frederick about movies and TV shows and a bunch of nonsense. And the chat apologizes. Says, I apologize for the confusion earlier. Yes, I am familiar with the other Poorly Planned Podcast, which is hosted which is hosted by Benedict Townsend and Frederick Hudson. And I'd like to be clear, Townsend, not my last name.
I'd like to be clear, Hudson, definitely my last name.
As you mentioned, the podcast covers a range of topics related to movies and TV shows, as well as other pop culture topics and general banter. It is known for its humorous and irreverent style, and has gained a following among fans of the host's previous work on YouTube and other platforms. So there's some stuff in there. And
it knows of BHL Hudson, but not enough to name it.
Not enough to actually identify him. And so I did a couple of things. I was like, what would you suggest for topics? And it gave some like, okay, topics. But where it gets a little weird, it's a little sus, is when I ask it, what is the best episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast? And so it starts, so like, it's like, I'm an AI, I can't say what's the best. However, I can suggest a few popular episodes that have received positive feedback from listeners. So it starts, episode 13, It's Just Banter, Babe. This episode features the host discussing a range of topics, including conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, it's confusing us with the other podcast again, whatever. Yeah. But then I go on. It kind of keeps going. Episode 22, just a couple of normies. They talk about normie culture, okay, whatever. Then episode 35, the best movies of all time, according to Benedict and Frederick. As the title suggests, the episode features the host sharing their top picks for the greatest movies ever made. So that would be a pod episode, but it's not episode 35. It's not titled that. Kind of weird. And then we get to
little bit sus.
The kicker, episode 42. Benedict and Frederick ruin their careers. In this episode, the host shares some of their most embarrassing moments and reveals some personal stories that could potentially harm their professional reputations. So I think ChatGPT is trying to cancel us, maybe?
Cancel us or tell us something to watch out.
Warn us not to make the episode where we reveal our most devious personal stories. So it was a very just horror movie moment where I was like, it's not actually knowing what I'm talking about. And it's like, wait a minute, Benedict and Frederick ruined their careers.
wait a minute.
So I don't know. So I feel like I could do a little more digging there.
But, that is worrying.
Yeah, concerning. So watch out for AI. It's coming for all of us.
Damn.
But yeah. Interesting stuff.
I will say the whole like boost in AI and everything lately is a little scary.
A little scary. I'm not gonna lie. It actually is like
little bit terrifying.
Some of the stuff I have seen done with like ChatGPT and like AI art as well and stuff. I'm like, damn, that is concerning.
That is scary to say the least.
Spooktacular. But we move.
We do move.
We move on to the news of the week. So,
please.
First things first. Should we kick things off in a big way? And by big way, I mean the worst way.
I think we should.
With the Fast X trailer.
Oh, yes.
The Vin Diesel porno
I've
film.
Seen this. I've seen this. And I won't lie.
Oh.
I'm so excited. No, I won't lie. I don't think it looks like the worst Fast and Furious movie. I think it looks better than Fast 8 and Fast 9.
Oh, but Fast 8 went kind of hard, I'm not going to lie.
It did not go kind of hard.
Bro, it was called The Fate of the Furious. Get it?
Do you not understand?
I mean...
This should be called The Tenacity of the Furious.
I like that a lot, actually.
Come on. That
would actually be really, really cool.
That'd be fucking dope.
I I mean, okay, yeah. I think it looks on par with the 9th one as the most mid Fast and Furious film.
I see.
It just, to me, and we've complained about the Fast and Furious films, and maybe we're just the two old men from the Muppets who hate everything, but it just, did it not look a little bit to you like, it's like, even for Fast and Furious, which is like half the fun could be it's like new and exciting and stupid, it kind of looks like the same stupid stuff they've done before.
It looks exactly like the same stuff. This is not me saying I'm excited for it, by the way. Yeah, I'm just saying the trailer was not the worst thing I've ever seen.
It wasn't. But like the big ball going through traffic and, you know, fucking like someone from their past.
One of Vin Diesel's testicles is running amok,
destroying buses and such. And like Jason, okay, is it just me or does Jason Momoa look real weird? Like just unsettling. I don't even know what it is. It's like he looks wrong.
I don't know. Maybe.
It doesn't.
I didn't really pick up on that.
It looks like a deep fake almost. Like I'm like, I don't know. It threw me off a little.
I will say what did seem a little weird to me, and this might. I mean, I kind of watched it half paying attention. I was having a conversation as I was watching it. But does it not? And correct me if I'm wrong. Does it not seem to be in the trailer where, like, they've got this big conflict, and then are they going to settle it with a car race?
Also, I love Vin Diesel's...
That shit is silly.
Vin Diesel's epic line, "We race." Yeah, it looks like it has spoiled the ending where it's like, we race for, like, honor. And then probably Jason Momoa's going to join the team at the end, because they always do that, because now, you know, John Cena's on the team. Look, okay, can you guess the one part of this trailer? Because I was watching this as I do Grumpy Beach House style, just like or whatever. Can you think of the one part of the trailer that made my eyes kind of open up a little? It's like, ooh, I perked up a little when this happened. Because I didn't know it was going to happen. I didn't see it coming. I was not sure.
Is it a Han Statham team up?
It was just the presence of Statham in general. I don't give a shit about Han. But just when Statham showed up, because I didn't think he was
Han honestly lowered everything.
Yeah.
And the fact that Statham was in it, I was like, okay.
Come on, you're like a little bit like, okay. They got a smidge of charisma in this.
They got an A-lister.
Yeah. I mean, look, the thing is, it's a crazy cast, again, of just people I don't give a shit about, and it's all stupid, and I don't like these movies. But can we not admit... Why is Dwayne not in it? Like, it's clearly the big finale. It has so many people. It has they're gonna bring back Gal Gadot, I'm pretty sure, and they have Charlize Theron, and they have Helen Mirren, and they have fucking John Cena. They have everyone. He's the best part.
Where's Dwayne?
He's objectively the only. If he was in it, it would actually change me from not seeing it to seeing it. I'm not even kidding. Like that's
me too. I think I maybe even be excited to see it.
Yes.
Honestly.
Maybe they're saving him for the last one, but I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it.
So this is the second to last one, yeah?
Yes, I think so. It's just, God, just take whatever you're paying Tyrese and Ludacris combined and give it to Dwayne and just
and times it by 20 and you might be able to get Dwayne on board.
And get Dwayne. Just put the whole budget towards Dwayne. And Vin Diesel, you fucking... sorry. I'm sure he's great.
If it was a Dwayne one-woman show, I would watch that rather than this.
Genuinely. Just fucking... I'm so sick of this, action that doesn't mean anything, and it's just, nonsense garbage. Anyway.
Well, you say it won't mean anything. Let's just see till the ball destroys, half a city.
Yeah. What if it takes a really realistic turn and it's just, Vin Diesel committed an act of terror, and he just, ruined a skyscraper in that dam.
It becomes a law drama.
Yeah. Vin Diesel is locked in the Pentagon, as he should be.
Not Dom Toretto, literally Vin Diesel.
Yeah. We're going to move on to... Well, there were other trailers. I don't know if you saw the big game, the Super Bowl.
Is the big game?
That's what they have to... There's some weird legal thing where you can't put Super Bowl in, the title, so all the things are, Indiana Jones big game trailer. That might also be just Harrison who's got that big game.
He got the big game in him.
But, did you watch the big game in question?
I did not watch the big game in question, no.
I didn't
Can't
either.
say that I'm a big fan of the big game.
No, I had a very embarrassing moment where an Irish man asked me, he was like, what team are you rooting for? And I was like, I actually don't know who's playing. Which is unfortunate.
I'm going to say Barcelona.
But there were some Super Bowl trailers. The main ones being... Well, I don't know if this is actually a Super Bowl thing, but the Guardians 3 trailer, there was a new one.
I did see the Guardians 3 trailer.
It looks very good. I don't think...
It does look very good.
There's a lot different to it than the last one, but I think
No.
it's kind of more clear now that Rocket is not gonna die. At least it
Yeah.
kind of shows that like all that stuff that looked like he was dying seems to be like a flashback to his like creation of sorts.
And to his, what was it? His lover slash
his
sibling?
lover friend, his lover brother, yes.
His lover brother.
Which again, they have a cute little laugh there, which again I saw as deeply sexual. I do think it's been speculated that probably Drax is gonna bite it in this one because, I mean,
Really?
it's the end of the series or the end of this run of these characters. And Dave Bautista has kind of been at odds with Marvel for a little bit because of the whole James Gunn thing,
Really?
and then they were like, apparently they didn't reach out to him to be in the What If show, and then it's a whole thing. So who knows?
Imagine being sad that you're not in the What If.
Yeah, that's honestly
Not exactly Marvel's greatest creation.
a compliment, to be honest, to not be invited to that.
Yeah, you should be happy, Dave.
They got Michael Douglas in that, who clearly needs all the money he can get based on his appearance in Ant-Man and the Wasp. But I mean, it looks really
Weird
good.
sexual fetish for ants.
Yeah. And getting cuckolded, which we'll get to.
Yeah,
But
we'll get into that.
I think, and not to spoil how I felt about Ant-Man and the Wasp, although you can kind of maybe guess, this is the upcoming Marvel movie that I'm like, it's the last Marvel project for a while that I'm actually quite excited for. Because I looked at
until
the
Daredevil
slate.
almost.
Yeah, I looked at the slate after that, and it's sort of like. Also, sorry, can I just mention the beard?
Oh, of course.
Sorry. It's magnificent, I know, but it's actually looking very on point today. I'm not gonna lie, it's looking very nice.
Thank you.
I don't know, yeah, like I looked at the upcoming schedule and like all the Disney Plus shows and the Marvels and whatever, and I was kind of like, honestly, yeah, Guardians 3 is the last thing I'm actually pretty excited for. So
Yeah.
sad.
Marvel
but good.
has kind of just turned into, okay, to be a bit blunt,
Ooh,
hot doodle cake.
damn. I didn't know you were gonna get so technical about it. Yeah,
I'm a movie reviewer, please.
We will. Yeah,
I mean,
we will dive into that on Ant-Man. But other trailers. There was a very brief Indiana Jones 5 big game spot.
Okay.
Nothing much new here, except we do get a little interaction between Harrison Ford and Mess Mikkelsen. It's pretty
I
good.
did not see this. What's the interaction?
He's like, in his Mess Mikkelsen voice, he's like, "Have we met?" And Indiana Jones is like, "I don't know. Are you still a Nazi?" And then he beats the fuck out of him for 12 minutes. He just absolutely ground and pounds him to death.
It's an entire video showing Mikkelsen's death in the movie.
It is, in fact, the big game spot.
Does he actually say, "I don't know, are you still a Nazi"?
Yes, he does.
God,
But it's cool. Like the way he says it. It's cool. And then he also,
Okay.
I have to say, there's a part at the end where he jumps out of a plane to his suicidal death. No, he jumps out of a plane like to escape or something. And I'll be honest, that stuff looks a little Uncharted to me. And I'm like,
Okay.
don't do this, Harrison. But
Don't do a Wahlburger on us.
never
please.
go full Wahlburger. But generally, I am still excited, even though it's probably going to be trash. No, let's not. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
I'll see. I think it'll be mid.
Oh,
I don't think it'll be as bad as the latest one, but I don't think it'll be as good as the originals. There you go.
oh, okay. Well,
Hot
speaking
take.
of something that I thought would be trash, and I still have reservations about, but the new trailer, I hate to say, maybe I'm just a little blockbuster bitch boy, but I did think looked kind of fun.
Are we talking
Flash.
The Flash?
We're talking. We all just forgot about that Ezra Miller stuff, I guess, and we're cool with this now. The Flash.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess we all just forgot he just hit a woman with a chair in Hawaii.
Yeah, among many other things that have, some been confirmed, some haven't. But yeah, and not only is it Ezra Miller, there are multiple Ezra Millers. In case we couldn't get enough of one.
Honestly, they're kind of shitting on us. Yeah. So.
Oh, you thought one
this
Ezra
man
Miller was
committed
excessive?
multiple crimes. We're gonna have a bunch of versions of him.
And we're gonna, after the movie, we're gonna unleash them on the world.
After the movie, they're gonna run through the screen and attack you.
They all live in the forest, and they'll come out periodically and eat children or something. I don't know. Just Ezra Miller is Pennywise. Anyway, what did you think of the trailer?
As you said, honestly, I was not expecting much, but then I saw it, and I was kind of on board for it. It looks
could be kinda fun.
I mean, it does look kind of fun. The whole thing where he goes into a different dimension and all that stuff, meets his other self. Looks fun. I think they could do it in a fun way. I will say what really got me excited was, I'm Batman.
That was pretty good. That was a cool line. I mean, it is.
That was a very cool line.
It is pretty cool to see Keaton back. And I'm not gonna lie, again, I made a whole video about stop bringing back old characters, whatever. But when Keaton flies
this
down
one kinda works.
and they play the Batman theme, the classic '89 theme, that was pretty. That was pretty good. And he does hit the Batman.
He's got the classic suit.
Yeah, he does.
It
does
work.
A little funny how. Have you seen Birdman?
No, I've not.
Well, in that movie, it's basically like half kind of parody of Michael Keaton, where he's like trying to be a respected actor, and everyone keeps asking him like, when are you going to come back as Birdman? And he's like, no, I'm not coming back. And now 10 years later, he is actually coming back as Batman. Like, he's actually completed the arc of that film. But
he's gone full circle.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, and like all the fan servicey stuff for some reason didn't make me roll my eyes in this. Like when they have Zod and they have Ben Affleck's Batman and stuff, it just kind of looks like part of a story weirdly, which is sometimes it does.
I mean, do you think because there's been so many delays and such a shit show with this movie, do you think that we're just being overly nice in the reception of it because it doesn't look like complete ass?
Because it doesn't look like the New Mutants. Maybe. I think
maybe, but at the same time,
I also think the fact that James Gunn, who seems like a generally pretty honest guy in his takes on stuff, and not like just like a company man. # Peyton Reed, director of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Anyway, we'll get to it. I think I'm just gonna shit all over it.
You said that with such venom. Peyton Reed.
The fact that James Gunn said not only is it just good, but that he loved it and he can't wait for people to see it. It makes me think there's something fun to it. And I think it has all this crazy DC stuff, but and as much as the Ezra Miller thing, we're not really sure where that's at. But having sort of a fun buddy time travel team up of the same guy with different versions.
I honestly think it could be a very, very good time.
It could be kind of fun.
Yeah, the two of them, the kind of dorky boys. Dorky boys.
The dorky boys.
The dorky boys who got some powers, and then they meet Keaton's Batman. I can definitely see it working out.
I can get behind it.
Kind of having a threesome in that way.
Yes. No, I can't wait for the threesome sequence between all of them.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll maybe get an Affleck-Keaton interaction? I doubt it.
I thought you were saying sex scene.
That too.
So I thought Affleck was completely done.
Yeah, but I think he already had filmed this cameo a while back. But it was surprising to see him. I was like, damn, yeah. And fucking Michael Shannon as General Zod coming back, I was like, it's a very, again, not to go back to it, it's a very Michael Douglas, Bill Murray thing where I'm like, damn, how much they pay you to just walk on this green screen for a day. But anyway.
Damn.
What a loser.
Come on now.
But anyway, yeah.
Has some self-respect.
Pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
We have just some small news nuggets that I think we can just speed round here. First of all, Creed 4 is apparently happening. Yay or nay?
What? I thought Creed 3 was going to be the last. I thought 3 would be the final.
Apparently not. So I'm very excited for 3. We'll see how it is, but
3 comes out in
it comes out
a week or two, doesn't it?
Next week, yeah. I'm so excited. Ooh. It's going to be magnifique, maybe. It's by the way, do you see Michael B. Jordan said some of the boxing scenes are anime inspired? So I think you might.
He just powers up and hits him with a fucking fire fist.
That would be very cool. But anyway, we'll see how it happens. But another foursome that's happening, Bad Boys 4 is underway. Can I just say?
I think I saw this, but I genuinely thought it was a joke.
Well, can I just say, the biggest fumbling of a bag of all time, titling the third film "Bad Boys for Life." How the fuck do you fuck that up that badly? You had a fourth film right there. Bad Boys for... What are they going to call this?
Bad Boys 5 Life.
Bad Boys X.
Bad Boys 3.
Anyway, who cares?
Bad Boys 4 was so bad. How is that getting another movie?
It was very bad. But I guess it was one of the highest grossing movies of 2020 because everything else got pandemic, which was kind of hilarious. I mean, not the pandemic thing, but the... Anyway.
Which was kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah, that sounded really fucked. It was actually one of the funniest pranks that was ever pulled. Zach Galifianakis has been cast in the Lilo and Stitch live-action film, presumably as Lilo.
There's a Lilo and Stitch live-action movie happening?
There is. God damn it.
That's kind of sad. That it's going to ruin my childhood, I feel.
Well, you have no idea, because... What other live-action thing is happening coming March 2025? A live-action How to Train Your Dragon film.
Ooh.
Which actually...
You know what?
is one of the
That
ones
one
that I'm more open to.
I'm more on board for this.
Because I'll be honest, really weirdly, when I think of the How to Train Your Dragon movies, I don't even think of them as like animated. Really, like obviously
It's more this like big scale movie.
yeah. Like I picture the set pieces, and I don't really think of it as like a cartoon movie. Like I could picture Hiccup as a real guy.
It's real.
I don't know. I think it's still unnecessary because we literally just had these movies, but. Of all the ones
the
they
third
could
one came
do-
out like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. Which also, I hope this doesn't start like a DreamWorks trend of making like fucking real life Shrek or whatever. But,
Well, to be honest, I don't really see Shrek as an animated movie. It's more of an experience.
it's kind of a visceral drug trip. But I'm weirdly, I'm not asking for it, but I'm weirdly kind of on board. Maybe.
Yeah, me too. I think if they get the right budget and it doesn't look cheap as hell.
Yes. Yeah.
Then I think it could actually be a very, very cool movie.
Who are you feeling for a Hiccup role?
Ooh, a Hiccup role.
Maybe well, it has to be like a young buck. Maybe like a
I mean, honestly, the guy who voices him could be good if he was a little bit younger.
yeah. If they'd done it, honestly, he looks kind of like him anyway. So if they'd done it back in like
Yeah.
2010, yeah. But now he's an old man. Maybe a Pedro Pascal. Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, and Zootopia 2, Zootopia, have been announced.
Ooh. Zootopia.
Zootopia for life, yes. Zootopia 2, I'm actually kind of on board for. I feel like there's a lot you can do.
Me too. I think that one, because I really liked the first Zootopia. I think that could actually be very good. Frozen 2,
Frozen 3.
again. No, I'm saying
I
Frozen
see, I
2. Garbage, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Definitely, I mean, not garbage, but so much worse than the original. Would you not agree?
I haven't seen it.
Ah, okay. Well, and then there's so many people here, this shit little town, who think Frozen 2 is better.
All these
by a
village
mile.
idiots.
Like, these absolute village fools. I'm like, how could you even say that? They're like, oh, yeah, it's so much more original and the story's a lot more like compelling. It's like, it's just not. It's just
bad.
Objectively wrong what you're saying.
Shut up.
I don't know how. It's like genuinely, and then they go on about how good Cars is. I'm like, no.
Terrible generation of people.
Surrounded by fools.
Yeah, no, I think any Cars lovers, Cars enjoyers should be.
Yeah, the average car enjoyer, wrinkly old man. The average car hater, Sigma. God, so awful.
So sorry to all the viewers.
I apologize.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think Frozen 3 needs to happen. And Toy Story 5, I think it doesn't need to happen, but I also thought that about Toy Story 4, and that was actually quite good. So, who knows?
I did not see Toy Story 4. I think I've only ever seen Toy Story 3.
They have like a big hug at the end, and everyone cried.
In
Speaking
the
of
movie or watching it?
just my whole family, big group hug at the end.
Why don't we do that?
And a final piece of news I just thought you'd enjoy. You know the film Plane that came out with Gerard Butler? That was hilarious because it's called Plane.
I'm very familiar.
It is getting a sequel called Ship. Which I wish was a joke, but it's not. It's actually happening.
Is that actually
That's actually
true?
happening. Which is,
I thought you were pulling my leg.
no, that's for real. Just kind of. Apparently, I've heard
Is
not bad.
Gerard naming these things? Because it sounds like such a Neanderthal way of doing it.
I've heard.
Oh, okay, we're going to do an intense drama and action movie on a plane. What should we call it? Plane! Okay, we're going to do the same thing, but on a ship. Gerard, now use your imagination. Ship!
Everyone stands up in reverence. He's done it again.
God, he's so good.
I've heard not bad things about Plane from people who've seen it, but then again, the person who told me the Plane was good also said they hated Puss in Boots. So, you know, who can you trust in this world?
Irrelevant.
Gross. Well, should we dive in to the big topic this week?
Should we shrink ourselves down?
Ooh, to the level of this
And
movie's
talk-
quality.
Ooh! Didn't know we could go beyond quantum.
Ooh.
All right.
All right. That's all, folks. All right. We'll see you next time. We are going to be talking Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which I'm going to say, let's go full spoilers off the bat because
there's a lot to talk about.
And it came out last week, so, you know.
I'm going to need a bounty for this. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. I understand. I had to get a large popcorn. I'm very happy we have a little bit of a tradition on this side of the ocean called it's very creatively named Pint Cinema Pint, where, as you can imagine, you know, how that goes. I was very grateful to have the pint in me before we went in, because I was sitting there, I was like, fuck, if I was 100% sober, this would be a rough one.
But thank God that I'm tripping balls off that one
Thank
pint.
God I'm absolutely fucked off that one pint. Also, actually, real quick, my favorite pub, which you've been to, which is an amazing pub, I've reached such a status.
Brilliant pub.
Because I walked in there, and the guy looked at me, and he was like, "An Orchard Thieves?" And I was like, he knows. He hit me with the usual. I'm a member. I'm there.
The coolest drink as well.
The cider that I've been told, quote, we all drink when we're 16. But anyway, it's a really good cider, all right?
You have the bitch cider.
Yeah, they did point
It's
out.
actually so good. I'm just ripping into you for the culture of it, but I actually very much enjoy it.
It's very good. It is a great drink. Anyway, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I'm gonna say, and this might be a controversial take, before this movie, I don't think there's a single MCU film that's like a really bad movie. I think the worst of them are like really forgettable, and Thor: Love and Thunder is kind of cringe, but like it still has some fun. Eternals, really boring.
Yeah.
But it still like has a couple of things of merit.
It's still a movie.
Still a movie. That's a really good way of putting it. This is the first like god awful movie that Marvel has made.
This is the worst Marvel movie I've ever seen.
100%.
I might have enjoyed Morbius more than this.
That's on an enjoyment factor. I definitely enjoyed Morbius more. In terms of
movie, obviously not. But
in terms of like how much fun I had, I was like, okay, there's some stuff we'll discuss that like was kind of funny and it was sort of so bad it's good, whatever. Towards the end, I'm not kidding. I was really like, fuck, when is this gonna be over? I thought it was like 2.5 hours. It's 2 hours long. This felt longer than Babylon. Genuinely, like I could not believe it was only 2 hours.
Babylon was a fucking task.
But like the whole final battle goes on for so long, and they incorporate so many elements that you just don't give a fuck about, and it just like it keeps going and going and going. And it's like, and it's so ugly. Anyway, let's have some structure here. Okay, should we start with anything we liked? I have like 2 things that come to mind. Paul Rudd is a very charismatic man.
He is,
and I always enjoy seeing
I would say this is probably his least charismatic Ant-Man performance.
Sure, but it's still with Paul Rudd's charisma. It still shines.
It's still good, and I will say, I could not like Darren.
Fucking MODOK.
MODOK.
Okay, are we gonna? Okay, can I just say, when they revealed MODOK, one of my friends who I was with
so hard
laughed hysterically, which was really funny because no one else in the cinema laughed, and so he just like lost it. Which the thing is, okay, they make some jokes about MODOK, and so I get part of it is that he looks silly, but he's not supposed to look that bad. I think it's like it's because the way I thought of it was like when you have Groot or Rocket Raccoon or something, they make a lot of jokes. They're like, oh my god, it's so weird. It's a talking tree. It's a talking raccoon. But you're not like, also Rocket Raccoon looks like shit. Like he looks like a real raccoon. Like this is supposed to be like, oh, he's a floating head. That's so weird. Like what a weird Marvel character. But he also looked so fucking unbelievably god awful that I don't think that was intentional. It's like unacceptably bad. It looked like a Snapchat film. It looked like a Nostalgia Critic character. I don't know if you've seen those YouTube videos. Like it's like fucking
unacceptably bad.
It's like it's not okay. It's like he looked so bad.
He looked truly garbage.
Criminally bad.
But like, do you not think there's a shed of like irony in that, or like something like that, or do you think they actually tried to make it just look like he was ahead? Because he looks so bad. I
genuinely think it wasn't supposed to look that bad. I think like the joke was supposed to be like he's such a weird character, but not, oh my god, like what the fuck is this monstrosity? If it was, then fair play, because it was very funny. But I don't think that was the intention.
That's why I really liked it. It's because he looked so insanely terrible that I was like,
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's the feeling that I got. I did. To be fair, one of like 2 times that I laughed in the movie, I did laugh when he was dying and he was like asking if he was an Avenger or whatever. I thought that was pretty funny. But like,
I think he was by far the most enjoyable part of this whole movie because he was, supposed to be this, like force to be reckoned with, and it's just a floating head that's running towards you.
Did you like his little butt as well, that they show his tiny little ass? No, I mean, I think also in a way he is like one of the only parts of the film that like has any semblance of direction to him. Like the rest of say what you will about the first Ant-Man, which in hindsight looks so fucking great compared to the two that came after.
It really does.
But like it knows it's like a movie. It's a comprehensible movie. It's like a heist movie. It's kind of a funny comedy, whatever.
Yeah.
This one, it's so all over the place where some of it's a comedy, some of it's like trying to be a Star Wars, Star Trek kind of thing.
There's so many parallels to Star Wars, especially like when all the troopers lined up and stuff like that. I was like, God.
Yeah. My biggest problem with it is so much of it. Like if it's just a big swing and a miss and it's stupid and it's MODOK floating head and like fucking weird creatures. If all of it is the stupid Star Wars like Paul Rudd's gang of blob people and penis houses or whatever. If the whole thing is that, then like sure, whatever. It's not great, but like. At least, it's a silly thing.
Kind of like a Thor Love and Thunder kind of thing.
Yeah. So much of it is so fucking boring. It's so much of Michelle Pfeiffer, whatever her character, Janet. I remember we said in an episode a few weeks ago, like every character in the Ant-Man movies besides Paul Rudd, you don't give a fuck about. And like she's basically the main character.
So much screen time she gets. I'm like, stop. I don't care about this.
They keep doing this like mystery thing where it's like, this movie only works on any level if you give a shit about anything, because it's so plot heavy. It's so heavy on like her having this mystery and her explaining stuff. That only works if you like give a single fuck about anyone in this world, about anything happening in this world, and I don't. So it's just so many scenes because they've given me no fucking reason to care about her.
Yeah,
like, why?
No
it's
reason.
Just to care about her because she's a character in a Marvel movie. It's like, no, there's nothing likable about her. There's nothing interesting about her. It's like she keeps being like, I have this mystery. And I'm like, keep it to yourself. I don't give a fuck. Get out of here. I just imagine Michael Douglas says that. She's like, I have a past. I don't know if I can tell you. I don't give a fuck.
Shut up.
Fuck Bill Murray.
God, I will say.
Okay, can we talk Bill Murray?
The Hank Pym cuckening. Very enjoyable.
I enjoyed that because also they really emphasized that they did some wild stuff.
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
And Hank was just sitting there like, oh goodness.
Oh,
I'll say I didn't really enjoy Bill Murray's performance. He was just kind of there. It was so
he was
useless.
completely like phoned in. Like, oh, I can be in a Marvel movie and make $2 million. That'll be nice. Like,
I'll do it.
He clearly didn't give a shit.
Talk about some freaky sex stuff I did with this one lady.
Talk about just absolutely eating that ass. I can do that. Michael Douglas doesn't even look that mad. He looks more like kind of intrigued. It's a little bit like,
he's like, oh my goodness.
Slight smirk.
He's like,
do tell.
That's what I forgot to say in my Letterboxd review because I wanted to write a bunch of hashtags, and when I was doing it the day after, I was like, God, I forgot that Hank fisted a bunch of goo.
He did. I enjoyed that.
He really did.
Just
he was like
absolutely elbow deep. Just 5 in the stink.
God, he was going to Bustown, that man.
At the end, he's so confident about it. He's like, let's go. Because also, is it a living creature?
Yeah. Is it sexual pleasure Hank is providing here?
A lot of weird, horny stuff in this movie, like the creature that wants holes or whatever. Also, can I just say, Michelle Pfeiffer, or whatever her character is called, definitely also fucked Kang. I just get the vibe.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, this is the ultimate cuckening of Hank Pym. Like, the way they're sitting there and they're talking, it's like, I was around for 30 years and I had needs or whatever. And it's like, you best believe. If you're going for Bill Murray, Jonathan Majors is...
He's called the Pipe Master compared to Bill.
He's the Pipe Conqueror. And Hank just has to live with that. God.
My name's Kang the Pipe Conqueror.
That makes it sound like he's conquering the pipe, actually. That doesn't really make a lot of sense.
You know why? Because I'm a sexual demon.
Can you imagine him just inches from Michael Douglas's face? Revealing the wild stuff that happened. Can we talk about Kang? Kang, I think, first of all, I like Jonathan Majors. I thought I would like him more in this, I'm not going to lie. It's just because it's a shit movie, but I was like...
the character of Kang just... It's not that good.
He's not... They've done such a bad job, I think. And I think this is just emblematic of the MCU in general now, where when they were building up Thanos, they did it in a way where, like, anyone in the mainstream can, like, get behind it, where, like, in their most popular movie to date, they put him as a tease at the end of the credits, and then also in the next one, and they kind of slowly had him, but like in cool moments where you really got a feel for it, like, oh my god, this guy's like a real presence. Kang, they showed a version of him who was such a fucking weirdo at the end, at the series finale of one of their TV shows, which is already confusing, because then you're like, oh, is it the same guy? Then it's a new guy here who's like kind of interesting. Not even interesting, he's just like, I like the actor, I guess, and he's like well performed, I suppose. But there's not...
You think so? I think he's just... He's so mid.
It's also because it's such a boring movie, but I felt like he talked so slowly. Because I was hoping the movie would end, and then he was like, what are you gonna do, Scott Lang? It's like, I don't know.
Scott Lang.
Maybe I'll fuck Bill Murray.
Do we have a deal? Ant-Man.
Yeah. and then, like, I think he's fine. They don't define his powers very well, which another problem we'll get to with, like, lack of definition.
I will say, there's the same case of, where some villains have got, like, this insanely... god power of just literally turning anyone into dust with that laser he has. But then when it's time to fight the family, he's just not going to use it.
Or when it's time to fight a bunch of fucking ants. Now, can we talk about the fact that...
Can we talk about Hank Pym's ants?
I mean, I did enjoy just Hank Pym's epic, like, dick-swinging walk he does when all the ants come in. Just the confidence on Michael Douglas's face.
It's down by the fucking ankles at that point.
Yeah, take that. Again, even, I know it's not the same guy, and it'll be, they showed in the post-credit scene there are a billion Kangs or whatever. But even if we're supposed to get all excited about this as a new villain, how are we supposed to care when he literally got bodied by a bunch of fucking ants? And also the Wasp, like a Z-tier Avenger. Like, at the end, when the Wasp is like shooting him with her little like fucking like pew pew pew, and he's fucking falling over himself. I'm like, how the fuck are we supposed to get excited about like all of the Avengers fighting this fucking guy when he's getting like absolutely
but he's getting domed by freaking the Wasp.
Okay, let's not say he's getting domed. That's more of a Michelle Pfeiffer, Bill Murray situation. But yeah, it's just such a weird way to build up what they want to be this big villain, and also because genuinely, I thought this would have been cool at the end, because I thought it was going to end with Kang getting out, and then that's like the big like tease, like oh my god, what's going to happen? I thought he was going to kill Ant-Man at the end, and then that would be like.
I thought Ant-Man would die as well.
The big statement, because it's like that's how you introduce a new villain. You have him kill a major character, and of course they'll bring him back. Who cares? But like. Kill a major character. It's also the end of his trilogy. It doesn't really matter. They're probably not going to do that many more Ant-Man movies. Kill a main character, come out of the portal, and then it's like, oh my god, what's going to happen? But they beat him. Like, it's like, how am I supposed to give a shit about him coming back? We know how to beat him now. Send a bunch of fucking ants after him.
Yeah, good Hank on that shit. Also, the whole ant thing, and then they fell into a time loop, and they lived for 1,000 years. Like, shut the fuck up, Hank. No, they did not.
Clearly made that up. Hank clearly had a drug trip induced by his fisting of an alien ship. Also, okay, on the movie in general, also, I think one of the big problems why it didn't resonate, and it's just like boring, because I was thinking like, why does something like Star Wars or Guardians of the Galaxy, which is similar, like you go to this weird world where nothing makes sense, it's because like those have like a frame of reference or a point for the audience to be like, okay, I like Peter Quill, I like, Luke and Han and Leia, so you're following them. When you're surrounded by complete nonsense and you don't care about anyone involved, you don't really care about, like, you kind of care about Scott and his daughter's relationship, but not really, and you definitely don't care about Hank and his wife and Janet, whatever the fuck, then it all just feels like nonsense. It all just feels like so stupid. You're like, I felt stupid watching it. I was like embarrassed. I was like, this is very dumb.
God, this is my life now?
Yeah. like you can have nonsense, but like, you know what I mean? Where like in Guardians of the Galaxy, they have all this silly shit, but like, it works. Like you're more on board.
It does work because you're following. It's because they're kind of seeing this silly shit as well. Mm-hmm. Like you're following the characters, like okay, kind of like kind of seeing it through their eyes. Whereas this one, you're just you're taken through this complete clusterfuck of a world, and it just does not work.
Also, I mean, we can also talk about effects, but like in general, just like it just makes it feel so cheap where like you have all these insane alien designs, whatever, and then it's just like, here's Bill Murray, the actual human being Bill Murray. It's like, here's the guy from The Good Place, the guy who could read minds. Yeah. I was like, why is he just like a dude? Like he's just an actual guy. Like he's just, it makes it just feel like you're on a green screen, you know what I mean?
Humans, is that what you call yourself?
Yeah, it's like,
Bill, you're a human.
And for some reason, again, it just like feels more authentic in Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess because there's more like consistency and they have like, they paint them different colors and stuff, but like, It just felt like a cheap movie. Should we talk about effects as well? Fucking, I mean...
Sure. I mean, there's an insane amount of goo in this movie that I'm just not a fan. It like, I don't know, I just watched a movie called Strange World. It's a Disney movie. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't, but that's what I was thinking of. It looked like that.
It reminded me so much of that because like all the, like monsters or creatures are like they're faceless. They're just like this, like they got like one or two colors. It's like this blob of goo just walking around or flying around, and that just feels so cheap to me. It feels like they couldn't be bothered to put in any effort to like make some actually interesting, like, not that the creatures are the main focus of this movie, but it would add a little bit to it. I think instead of seeing this like pink, like freaking, I don't know what it's supposed to be, like a freaking pink cell just like flying around as a kite.
Yeah. It's it feels weird to complain about something being like just weird nonsense when like all these movies are that, but there's just something distinctly that feels like kind of lazier and like not as like just kind of cheaper about this one. Yeah. I think also a lot of the green screen is really bad. Like you can tell a lot of it's filmed on a green screen, and
you can tell they're not actually in the quantum realm for this.
Boo, very lame.
I'll also say, truly hated the daughter.
I knew you were gonna say that. That is such a
her
Freddy
dialogue
character
was
hate.
so corny and clunky.
No,
she was so bad.
Yeah, which is a shame because I really like that actress for the one from. She
What
was
else
in
has
Freaky.
she been in?
She was the girl from Freaky, the Vince Vaughn girl.
True.
And she was great.
The Vince Vaughn girl. She is great, but in this one, she's not great. She's genuinely awful.
It's really bad.
And like her whole thing, like, just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean you don't have to help them. You're a hero, Dad.
Yeah, it was so like very condescending,
so corny and
like,
so
corny.
It was condescending. It was so lazy.
Yes,
Her dialogue felt so lazy. It was like, oh yeah, I stole a suit. Oops, I'm communicating with the quantum realm because they need help too. And Dad, you're supposed to be a hero. At least I'm doing something with my life.
Yeah.
Shut it. Oh, if she died, I would have been happy.
Yeah, I mean, I just imagine her as like the giant version, and Kang just shoots a hole through her stomach or something. It's just like that's the end of the movie. They're having a beautiful hug, and then Kang just shoots them both straight through the heart. Yeah, no.
That's how you set up a villain.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think she was poorly utilized and just, not. I mean, to be fair, though, like, she got, like, kind of the corniest, like, most on-the-nose dialogue, but most of the characters in this are just not well-written, or, like, again, like, the Wasp does nothing, Michelle Pfeiffer's talking in, like, riddles the whole time, Hank Pym is clearly there for the fucking paycheck, like, it's...
And for the goo. I mean, I don't know, he's just not really in it that much, but I kind of enjoyed Hank Pym.
I guess, the one moment
just for the absolute swagger he brought to the screen.
I did, like, just smile so widely when he just walked in with that strut. That absolute, like, kingly walk.
Never have I seen a man prouder than that.
I will say, like, we talk about the effects. There were some decent effects. I thought the scene... I mean, obviously, like, there are a billion effects, and most of them are, like, very, like, well done. It's just, like, when they're not, you can tell. I thought the whole scene where there's a million Ant-Mans or whatever, it was kind of interesting. It was more interesting than everything else going on. I think... There was one moment that I laughed pretty hard, although it was not intentional, where Kang's doing a big dramatic speech, and Scott Lang's daughter's like, "What's coming?" And he just turns to her and goes, "Me." just absolutely, and he just busting,
ejaculates in a river.
It's like he just got back. She looks so shocked, and then just Scott Lang's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Just in the corner.
Kang, stop. Kang beating the Wang.
Wang the Conqueror? God, we're really funny. This movie wasn't funny at all, but we're hilarious.
Wang.
I think the only moment in the movie that like I laughed like when I was supposed to was at the very end when like he goes back to the real world and the guy who gave him the free coffee charges him $12 now that he knows he's not Spider-Man. Like the very brief stuff that was in the real world was weirdly the best part of the movie.
I liked it a lot, yeah.
Which is funny because in the other Ant-Man movies that's like the most boring part.
Yeah, but like with his kind of... I mean, that just says how shit the quantum realm was. That just middling... Getting a coffee in the real world is actually enjoyable.
What's the highlight?
Also, when he's got that like existential question, like, oh, did I just kill the world? Fuck.
Yeah.
I liked it. Question. So, you know how they show all the like Kangs at the end?
All them Kangs.
Was this Kang? I know he was like, a bit of a messed up guy, but was he actually a good guy, the Kang in this movie?
No, because didn't he destroy timelines and stuff? Again, they've made it real confusing.
But isn't it revealed that like the reason he destroyed those timelines is because he had to destroy the Kangs of that timeline?
If I'm honest, I was kind of checked out by the end. I was not really paying that much attention.
And I won't lie, I also don't really care. I was just thinking like...
No, but if that is the case, which I guess would be kind of a twist of sorts, it's kind of lazy because they did that in Loki, where the big villain they find at the end of Loki is Kang, and he's like, I'm actually the nicest version of Kang. You shouldn't see the other versions of me, which is not what I assumed this guy would be. He would be the next big one, where it's like, oh, that's what he's talking about. But now if they've done that again, where it's like, in this one, he wasn't even the worst one. There's even more of it. It's like, fuck off with your like...
Because all the others, they seem not great.
I mean, they seem kind of...
I also don't really like them. They didn't seem very interesting.
No, there was like a zombie one, and there was like an ancient Egypt one, and it was just also kind of goofy, and I don't care. That's the biggest thing I'd say about this movie.
You don't Kang?
I don't Kang. Not at all. Not one bit.
Not one bit do I Kang.
I don't Wang the Conqueror. The whole movie I was just thinking, and I think this a lot, where we're very much in this space of superhero movies and stuff. Like, even if we're not as much as we used to be, we're still more than the mainstream, population.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about how, like, I used to go to these movies with, like, my parents, you know what I mean? And, like, we watched The Avengers, and we watched Iron Man 3, and I remember they would watch them, and, of course, it was fun to go when I was a kid and all that stuff, and there's nostalgia and whatever, but, like, they would watch them, and they'd be like, even today, like, I'll ask them, and they're like, yeah, no, The Avengers, that was a fun movie, like, Iron Man 3, that was a fun time, the original Captain America, those were fun, and now, like, when I tried to watch, like, the Loki show with my mom, she was like, what the fuck is, like, I don't care about this.
Like, and also, this movie, especially this movie, feels like, I mean, I don't know, if you're like 7 years old, you might be like, oh, whoa, big ants, but it doesn't seem like
one that appeals to any of our viewers who enjoy this movie. Maybe if you're like a little bitch 7-year-old, you might be like, oh, Michael Douglas got some ants.
Maybe if you're like, it's a loser, you might enjoy Hank Pym gooing it up. But like, I don't know, it just didn't feel like it appealed to anyone really.
No.
Like, I think if you're an adult taking your kid to see this, you're not gonna have a good time. Like, especially like comparing it to like what you just said, like Iron Man and the Avengers and stuff like that. And if you're anyone in your right mind, you won't enjoy this movie either.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, if my parents went to see this, it'd be, and like that's an example for any like kind of mainstream audience. They'd kind of be like, oh, that was sort of confusing. And even one of my friends who saw it, who like said she enjoyed it, she was like, yeah, I didn't really get what was happening, but like it's kind of fun, I guess. And it's like, yeah, it's and then
I have no clue what was going on.
But yeah, and then for a kid, I feel like if I saw this as a kid, I'd be bored as fuck. Like, so much of it's just boring exposition sort of scenes between Michelle Pfeiffer and Kang, and it's like, who is it made for? Is it made for like a very specific niche MCU demographic? Because like, people criticize these movies for being kind of like safe producty things now, but I think this is like worse than that, where it's not even like a producty thing. It's like a producty, like kind of like Eternals was, but worse, like a manual for like a game or something. Like it's like a.
I honestly enjoyed Eternals so much more than this movie.
No, Eternals at least
that says a lot, because I did not enjoy Eternals whatsoever.
Yeah, no. Also, can I just say, beyond the effects, the Quantum Realm just looks like it's just so dark, and it's all the same color, and it's just like it's not a.
It's not an interesting world you want to be.
No,
in.
It's like the Guardians movies. They go to this like, crazy Ego's planet and all these like weird different locations, and it's like the whole movie was just like, it's so dark and like red and yellow, and I'm just like, I'm not enjoying where we are. Like, yeah,
I'm not having a good time. And also like the whole freedom fighters bit, they did not have to be there.
They kept introducing characters and elements that just, I don't care. Like, I guarantee you that fucking the leader of the freedom fighters, or who Cassie Freeze, she's gonna get a Disney Plus show. She screamed Disney Plus show character, because it's like, You don't give a shit about her, but like she's there just enough for it to be like, let's set up a thing that's gonna happen.
She's got this weapon that turns people. I mean, I liked her weapon. Her weapon was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was one of the cooler effects in the movie. But like, yeah, you don't really care about any of these characters or their They don't. That's the thing. They don't give you enough reason to care about anything that's happening.
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm gonna have a fucking heart attack talking about this movie. Yeah, I feel like got a little heated there, but yeah. Do you have anything else?
We talked about it briefly, but like best moment for me is probably MODOK's. Is it MODOK?
Mm-hmm.
That is.
Yeah.
MODOK's death. I found very enjoyable.
That was funny.
That was kind of hilarious. Especially with that big ass stupid head of his. I loved it.
And that tiny rump.
Tiny little rumpus. I don't know. Where he's like touching Paul Rudd's face.
Yeah.
That little shitty hand. It was like, I don't know. That I found funny, but overall, just not a great movie.
No, not at all. And I would say,
as I wrote on Letterboxd, can't wait to see this to never see this movie again.
Well, as I wrote on Letterboxd, Bill Murray lays pipe. That was my review. Which, to be fair, I did mark as spoilers, as it should be. But yeah, I think the way I would kind of sum it up is, like, these movies used to feel like an event. Like, going to the cinema to see a movie is, like, already an event. And then a Marvel movie is like, oh, man, like, going to see a new Captain America or an Iron Man or something felt like a real, like, a treat. You know what I mean? And this feels like a filler episode of a Disney Plus show. Yeah, it feels like a chore. Like, it feels like we got to get through this one. And it's like, they've really, like, they've oversaturated their own market. And they're not helping it by making, shitty movies. That also doesn't help. If you put out 100 great movies a year, it would be a little bit better than if you put out 100 and they kind of suck. So, yeah, Marvel. Yeah. Before we wrap it up, Marvel. What direction are we thinking? Because I'm genuinely, this one has pushed me like where I'm like, if I don't really care that much, I'm probably not going to see a Marvel movie. Like, probably won't see the Marvels, which is crazy.
I've almost felt this like obligation to go see all Marvel movies, for better or worse. Like, even if I wanted to go see it or if I didn't, I was like, I need to see this.
Yeah.
But if it's shit like this,
no.
But again, this is the thing where it's both good and bad, I guess. Like, smart of them in that because everything's just one big story now, almost. You can't not really just skip out on one leg of the major Marvel movies and then go into the next one. And there'll be so much you've missed out on.
But I think that's gonna.
Some of them, I think
that's gonna backfire in a big way soon, because you can do that for like hardcore Marvel fans, and you could do it with the mainstream to an extent when it's just like see the Marvel movies and then it leads up to a big Avengers film. But if you're trying to force like normal people who have normal jobs and lives to be like, no, you have to watch this Disney Plus show to get this, everyone's gonna be like, fuck you, no I don't. Like, I'm just not gonna go see it then. Like,
I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah. And so like honestly, like I mainly went to see this, I'm not even kidding, to do this, like to do the pod. Like,
I know. And as I was sitting there, I was like, this is going to be some great pod material.
And like, I don't know. If they make an Ant-Man 4, if they make an Eternals 2, I might not see it. I'm not even going to lie. Because I'm not making reviews for them anymore, really. I'm kind of transitioning into other stuff. And it's fun to talk about here. So maybe, there's something to that. But like, yeah, if they make one that like looks, outrageous, like if it's a Morbius or something, that's fun to talk about. But like, genuinely, the Marvels, it'll probably be okay. But will we have that much to say about it? Like, you know what I mean? So I don't want people to unsubscribe thinking we're going to stop watching movies, because it's kind of the whole point of the pod. But I will say I am so much less enthusiastic about these movies now than I used to be.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Yeah. Like, come back to like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Your eyes were wide.
Yeah.
You were living it. You're like, oh my God.
We were so hyped.
This is it.
And yeah, it's partly because we're growing up and, we're maturing, and they are for a younger audience. But it's also definitely partly because they're also worse.
Like... The graph would be us going up and up and up. Wait. How do I do this? Oh, yes. Wait.
This will be great for the audio medium we are currently doing.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm doing, though.
Yeah.
Our age rises, the quality declines. At some point, we're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Get a picture of this and put it in.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take a screenshot of that.
Oh. This is the graph.
Oh, there we go. Happening. Okay. That'll be great. Yeah, that'll be the image for that'll be the thumbnail, actually. People will be like, damn, they're about to make some really good points.
They're about to get real.
But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Do you have anything more?
Not really. Do you want to give a final score?
I might go genuinely like 3 out of 10.
I'm going to go 2.5 out of 10.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yoikers.
Big yikes. Well, let's cleanse our palate a little bit. It's now time for
the Cnews.
Now,
God, that felt good to say.
we actually have, did you see the Steven Spielberg clip where he's hugging Tom Cruise and he's like, you saved Hollywood's ass with Top Gun Maverick, and Tom Cruise is like, no. It's in his typical way.
I can't say that I have.
It was kind of wholesome, I guess, but we have fan-submitted Tom Cnews. Get excited. Because
okay.
ZJ Goat sent in that he, in fact, found the clip of Tom Hanks talking about the Tom Cruise cake. So,
oh goodness!
Let me actually.
Can you send this to me?
I'll pull it up on my phone and play it into the microphone because it is quite delightful, I have to say. Let's see. Where are you at, ZJ? Here we go.
This cake is so great, you can really only have it once a year, which works out perfectly because I don't order it. It arrives as a gift at Christmas. Now, I'm going to drop a name now, and I don't want you to go berserk, but this is a big name. Not everybody gets this white chocolate coconut bundt cake. This is a Christmas gift that we get every year from Tom Cruise.
Get the heck out! Oh my God.
What a fucking reveal with the music and everything from Tom Cruise.
So yeah, thanks ZJ for sending that in. Also, I love how we pronounced it bunt cake. Apparently it's bunt cake, and it did sound like T said Tom Cruise's butt cake, which, I mean, just makes it all the better.
The Bunda cake.
So yeah, incredible. Thank you, ZJ. I wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth. That mouth that loves Tom Cruise's cake. We're going to move on to the announcements and such. And we actually have two pods to go through comments for real quick, so let's do that.
Ooh. I'll say before we get into these comments, I'll say I got 2 comments on my Letterboxd.
Oh no!
That I have a bone to pick.
Oh,
in that I think I've garnered a pretty bad reputation because someone wrote a rare FTKW. What's that about?
Let's go.
What's that about?
I mean, that's
rare.
I mean, I have to say on my Ant-Man thing, I got common BHLW, so you know that's what it is. Damn, I'm sorry, man.
Son of a bitch.
You've gotten they think very little of you.
It seems so.
Okay, firstly on episode 173, Al Feld says, I didn't get the Venom reference at first. I thought BHL was saying that he saw the twist online and that the twist of Knock at the Cabin was that Hardy shows up at the end. That would have made that movie much better, I assume.
A lot better.
Also, have you heard that Phineas and Ferb is coming back with a 5th and 6th season, both adding up to 40 episodes? I did not, but that is kind of fun.
I did, and that sounds...
Let's go.
Okay. Fine.
Let's get it. Yako says, Dick Grayson. Nah, but for real, I love this episode. Keep up the great work, y'all. Been a fan since 2017. Thank you very much. Josie says, I have the same thoughts about the ending of The Whale. Let's go. And that makes the movie even sadder. I mean, not let's go. I mean, it's a very sad theory I put out, but I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Let's go. This obese guy died.
Yeah, that I didn't. I wasn't the only one who thought that. Never expected BHL to see it, but that's a big W review from him. Let's go. What a time.
Why would they not expect you to see The Whale?
Yeah, I don't know. Am I not Kino enough? ZJ says, great way to...
Am I not Kino enough?
Great way to start my weekend. Also, stop disrespecting one of my country's origin, Sweden, or I'll come to where you guys live and Will Smith slap you. I'm so sorry, but also, we're Danish, so we're obliged to hate on Sweden.
So we're obligated by the law.
I'm so sorry.
To say that Sweden is a garbage place.
It's a fact. ZJ says, Dink for Batman, and Josie says Dink for Lant, and Daniel says Dink for Robin. All good choices. All should be considered.
All good choices.
Kian says €15 for a bottle of Prime in Centra is €15 too much. I agree, and it's one of the most embarrassing purchases I have ever made.
Especially because you did not enjoy.
No, it was bad. Anson says, just wanted to mention quickly, because I know Benedict loves the show, I finished BoJack Horseman for the first time this week. Definitely a top 5 favorite show for me. Remarkable how a show can be so insanely funny 1 minute and then so existentially harrowing in the next without it ever clashing in the slightest. Spectacular series. I agree so heavily, and I think FDK should get on that. But yeah, I'm glad you took the rec and enjoyed. Daniel says, another really great and enjoyable episode. Keep up the truly James Pistol-esque work. And I realize that you guys never said what DC property you're most excited for. So what are you most excited for? And which one are you least excited for? Hashtag epic roasts. And also, which DC property do you want to see in the new slate? Swamp Thing, a.k.a. Freddy's mom, and BHL not liking Prime. Big L, this might trump the Ghostbusters Afterlife hate. So get good. Goodness, a lot to unpack there.
A lot. That's a mouthful.
So that was a stream of consciousness from Daniel.
Did Daniel just call my mother the Swamp Thing?
I think he did, yeah. Unprompted.
How does he know?
I mean, most excited for, I'd probably say the Superman one. I'm curious to see what James Gunn does with it. And least excited, probably one of the ones that I don't know anything about. Like The Authority or whatever it was.
I'll say I'm excited for the new Batman movie. I don't know. I don't remember what's actually happening in the DC.
We'll take Batman movie. Cal W says, question for Benedict and FDK. What is your favorite episode of television? Ooh. For me, might be the second to last episode of BoJack Horseman, The View from Halfway Down. Just a very, very good episode. What about you?
Ooh. I don't know. There's so many. Could be last episode of season 4, New Girl with the wedding.
That is very good. Oh, I didn't even think of The Office. Ooh. Better Call Saul has some great ones, as does Breaking Bad.
Yeah, same with Game of Thrones. Maybe Battle of the Bastards is very good. Yes, true. I don't know. That's one to think about. I couldn't tell you just like right off the top of my head.
We'll see, yeah. Jaden says, I'm 100% on board with your controversial Shazam 2 take. Looks so corny and not in a good way. One of the worst trailers I've seen in a while. Makes Cocaine Bear look like a Best Picture nominee. I am actually excited for Cocaine Bear.
Me too.
I have heard good things, but yeah.
When is it out? Is it already out?
I think it's out this week. Let's go. Pint Cinema Pint, incoming. Lucas says, I formally accept your apology, BHL. Get those views. 14 mil. Lucas is one of the film classmates, so he's
one of the Pint Cinema Pint goers.
He actually was very offended that you referred to him as like a moron or something in the episode. But yeah, get fucked, Lucas.
I apologize. When did I refer to him as a moron?
I don't know. Anyway, NMS says, common FDKL on Knock at the Cabin, or maybe a rare W. Knock at the Cabin introduced a narrative and then fully stuck to it. I get why some people don't like how the film doesn't diverge from its premise. The movie isn't nearly as ambiguous as it should be, or maybe it is. The ending was changed from the novel, and I would have liked it to stay the same. But I really like the directing suspense, and Batista continues to be the best supporting actor named Dave Batista out there. So, damn, NMS,
I mean,
coming for you.
I don't know. I disagree.
Oh.
I like Batista. But
yeah, you'd never disagree on that.
It was just not that good of a movie.
Oh, well, that is a concise argument, and I can't see why anyone should elaborate further. We now move on to the DreamWorks episode. Al Feld says, hey, I'm wondering if both of you have heard of the announcement that Phineas and Ferb... Oh, yeah, it's the same one. Just because we didn't do comments last week, so sorry. And he also asked about How to Train Your Dragon, so there we go. Joe C., BHL comparing him and Freddy to Timon and Pumbaa might be the most accurate comparison ever. I kind of see it, honestly. I mean, you give Pumbaa energy.
You are very Pumbaa-esque.
No, you're extremely Pumbaa. Come on, I'm the smart aleck, kind of fun, cool one. You're the one who farts.
I will say, during these announcements, I've probably farted about 3 times.
See, I know what I'm talking about. Lucas says the Wallace and Gromit slander was completely unjustified, lads. Well, Lucas, get fucked.
Lick my balls.
Lucas, kiss my asshole, I guess. Cal W says, honestly, the two guys from El Dorado kind of look like Ben and Freddy. Hold up, let me pull this out.
In a minute.
From memory, they're quite handsome lads. I'll take that as a compliment. But the road to El Dorado.
Let's see.
I mean, like, I don't really see it at all, but I'll take it.
Let me see.
The blonde one does kind of have an insane look in his eyes that like is emblematic of you.
Road to El Dorado.
I mean, I'll take it.
He has an insane look in his eyes.
Actually deranged. Like, he's actually burned down multiple orphanages.
On this on this Blu-ray cover, I don't know if you've seen it.
I'm thinking of, yes.
I maybe look insane, but you look like you're inside that horse.
Anyway, I'll take that. Not the horse thing. Daniel says, another really great and enjoyable episode. Keep up the Shrek-esque work. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
One of the funniest episodes
Shrek-esque work.
in a while. Definitely top 5 at least. Can't wait for part 2. Frederick is in love with the gingerbread man. # better donkey. Yeah, I don't know if you've listened to the episode, but when you left, I did filibuster about how you want to fuck the gingerbread man. It's just...
I see. I did not listen to this episode yet, but I'll go
prank.
back and see. You son of a bitch.
And L Kid says, your opinion on Spirit is the biggest L you've ever had. You need to be shamed for this behavior. I'm sorry, I'll never change my mind on Spirit. Yes, it has a banging soundtrack, and yes, I do listen to it often, but it's a trash movie for trash people.
I brought this up at Frisbee Social. We had, I think the day of recording the last one, and when we talked about how bad a movie Spirited is. Is it Spirits? Spirited?
Spirited, yeah.
Again, I've never seen it, but I just assume it's not very good. And then there was uproar in the crowds where everyone's like, "What are you talking about? It's a great movie, best Disney movie or DreamWorks movie ever." It's like,
oh wait, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I had a brain fart there because we're talking about DreamWorks movies. For some reason, I thought we were talking about the Spirited movie starring Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. I don't know why. Oh. I didn't realize we were talking about the horse movie. Sorry. But I stand by what I said, though. No, it is.
Listen. I was a little bit confused. It's like, why do you listen to the
why on earth would I listen to
soundtrack?
Spirit
What are you talking about? It's just like,
sorry, brain
don't let him have it.
Sorry, but I still stand by. It's a garbage movie, possibly made for garbage people. But yeah, no, and I think your Frisbee teammates are garbage. We move on. Sorry, no offense. To the fan page where there was
it's
this
very warranted
amusing video of the James Gunn thing with a little FDK cameo in there. Very good stuff.
Ah, yes. I saw.
And yeah, that is the pod for this week. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment down below what you thought of Ant-Man and the Wasp and the news and this episode. What do you think is going to happen with the MCU also as well? That's if you're on YouTube. If you want to find us elsewhere, we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please leave a 5-star rating, a nice review, hit that follow button, tell your friends about the pod. They'll probably tolerate it. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson,
Maybe.
Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson, TikTok, BHL Hudson, Letterboxd, Real BHL Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudson@gmail.com. All these links are down below.
You can find me on Twitter at FDK_DaltSniper. You can find me on Instagram at Fidalgard. You can find me on Letterboxd at FDK_Thwilms and on YouTube at FDK Space Gaming.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Wang.
Also, before we go, can I just say, I can't believe we didn't think of saying Michael Cuckless throughout the pod.
Damn, that was
Big wasted opportunity.
Okay, let's re-record this.